Hi, I'm Glen White.
And I'm Inge Lotenberg.
Today we're going to talk about the culture you can experience on the campus of Missouri Southern State University.
For our first segment, we interviewed Craig Gullett, who is the director of CAB, which is Campus Activity Board here on campus.
Hi, I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture. I'm here with Craig Gullett, the Assistant Director of Student Life. Hi, Craig. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Yep.
So, how did you come into this position?
Yeah, so I've been in this office in different roles for the last almost 8 years now. And, I had just recently graduated here from Missouri Southern. I'm an alum and saw the opening. And I was attracted to that it was an active position. You get to do and plan a lot of events. So that's right.
So, what kinds of things does the Assistant Director of Student Life, what kind of duties does that entail?
Yeah, so I am in charge of the Student Activities Office. So we oversee the Campus Activities Board, or CAP as it's more commonly known, Greek Life, registered student organizations, and those are our big three areas that we cover.
Do students ever come to you with problems that they're having on campus, or is that more directed towards a different area?
That'd be more directed towards the Student Affairs Office. We do have a lot of students that come in and suggest activity ideas and have questions about our activities, but that's mainly what my office covers.
Mm-hmm. So as far as putting forth an activity, where does your role come in that?
So I rely heavily on the Campus Activities Board. Throughout the meetings, they'll vote on entertainers and movies, and it's my job to actually facilitate it and make sure it happens through booking with the agent or the company that provides the movies.
Mm-hmm. So you said booking with the agent. Mm-hmm. Is that the agent for the actual entertainer?
Yeah, the entertainers, agents. They'll work with me on dates, and then we discuss pricing, and then do contracts and all the fun stuff. So I do handle all that, so the Campus Activities Board can focus on selecting the events.
What is the approval process for events like that?
Really, it's up to the Campus Activities Board, and it's my role as the advisor to, if I think they're going to bring in an act that may not go well or not be good for our student body, that's kind of my role. I'll step in and, kind of give them the pros and cons. But as far as the approval process goes, we really leave it up to the Campus Activities Board on what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of students have the probably question that you've heard many times, but where does the funding for all of these events come from?
Yeah, so everyone on campus, or all students, they pay a $25 student activities fee, and so that's where our funding comes from for the Campus Activities Board.
Okay. And what would you consider your favorite event that gets put on at the school?
My favorite event are probably our picnics. We do 3 of them a year, which is unique for a campus our size. Everyone always has them circled because it's free food and free T-shirts, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And what is your favorite part of this position that you have? I know you said you've worked several different positions. What would you say is your favorite about this particular position?
I just really enjoy the interactions with the students. It's nice being able to work with students on a one-on-one basis that's not necessarily academic or financial aid, or it's something that's fun, and you can see a different side of students, and I enjoy that a lot.
Well, is there any last minute things that maybe you want the students on the campus to know, or maybe something that you get asked a lot that you just kind of want everyone to know?
As far as the Campus Activities Board goes, it's open to everybody. We are a very casual group, so if you can come and go to meetings as you please. We understand schedules are crazy, but we definitely want everyone's input, so that way we can put on a variety of different events that appeals to everybody.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Craig. Yeah. And it sounds like everybody should show up to the CAB meetings. I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture.
For our second interview, we interviewed 2 officers of the CAB board.
Hi, I'm Kailey Schellack, and I'm here with Lacey and Cheyenne that are on the executive board of CAB. This is a segment called Campus Culture. How are you girls doing today?
Good, thank you.
Good. I just want to ask you guys a couple of questions about CAB and what you guys do. So, first of all, when do you both meet?
Wednesdays at 1 p.m. and 3rd floor Billingsley.
What are some topics that are discussed at the meeting?
Everything that goes on campus, basically. We put on all the events. We put on, like, the picnics, homecoming week, bingo in the Lion's Den, all the entertainers. What else?
Movies.
Movies.
Take care of movies.
Yep. And Finals Madness, Southern Lights. We do the toga party at the beginning of the semester, the whole welcome week, everything, yeah.
And Cheyenne, how do you guys decide on what kinds of events you put on for the semester?
The club puts it to a vote, so we bring in basically videos of all of the entertainers we think would do well, and then all of the members that are present at the meeting vote on it.
Do the students on campus, do they have a say in what kind of events go on? Or, do they have a say?
Yeah, anybody can join CAB, so there's no requirements, there's no fees. You just have to show up to the meeting and vote.
Literally every meeting, yeah. You can come to the first meeting and your voice will be heard.
So generally then, it's at the CAB meetings that the events are put into place and then you're voted on. So it doesn't come from necessarily like a suggestion box or an email or anything?
You can walk into this office at any point, put in a suggestion. You can find anybody at any of the events. Even just direct feedback. If you come to an event, you can come to us after and tell us what you would fix or change or whatever, and we will put that in front of the board, and then we can all discuss that and vote on it later.
What would you consider the most popular event that you put on?
Entertainer-wise, Chris Jones, probably.
Yeah, movies are just a consistent thing that gets a lot of people, but definitely Chris Jones for like a single event normally gets most people.
Who is Chris Jones?
He's a hypnotist.
Oh.
We brought him 4 years in a row. We're continuing to bring him next year, I think we've decided. And we always get like 400 or 500 people, so it's nice.
What would you consider your favorite event that you put on?
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
Yeah, probably Chris Jones.
He's super nice, and he always spends a lot of time with us, chilling out with us before and after the event.
Okay. I should probably go see him then.
Oh, yeah.
A hypnotist. That's really interesting. Okay, so the last question that I want to ask for you guys is what kind of process goes into planning the events and then initiating it and then executing that?
We come up, normally somebody just gives an idea, and then we kind of talk about how we could implement it, and then we look at budget, we look at videos, we look at how other schools like them, how they do other places. What else?
I think that's pretty much it. I think the night of the event, we just gather an hour and a half early, and then just kind of set up, just do general setup.
And we also talk about at what point in the semester, if, like Chris Jones, we always tend to do, later in the semester?
In the fall.
That way we have, if something doesn't need to, kind of promotes itself like Chris Jones, sometimes we can put it earlier, and that way we have more promotion time for later events that maybe don't have as much recognition behind it.
Great. Well, Lacey and Cheyenne, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Kailey, and this is Campus Culture.
For our third interview, we decided to get the view of a student here on campus.
Hi, I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture. I'm here with Tanner today to talk about different events that are put on at the school. Hi, Tanner. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So what kind of events on campus have you attended this semester?
I don't have a whole lot of time outside of school, but I always love going to the community days and the picnic and getting all the free things that Southern can bring in for us.
Yes, I always stand in line for those t-shirts, absolutely. So how do you hear about these events?
There's tons of posters around that I see, and then we have TVs in the music department, and a lot of that is broadcasted on there too. And so things like Stuff a Lion, and then the Eclipse when we had the glasses that were passed out.
Yeah. Tanner, are there any events that you would like to see on campus or that you wish there were more of?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I feel like Southern does a really good job of including all types of interests for all the students that attend.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Tanner. Thanks for answering all my questions. I'm Kailey, and this is Campus Culture. Hi, I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture. I'm here with Peyton today to talk about being a transfer student. How are you, Peyton?
Good.
Good. Where did you transfer from?
Neosho County Community College in Kansas.
In Kansas. How long did you go there for?
2 years.
2 years. How would you say the culture is different from Neosho County to Missouri Southern?
It was a junior college, so it was a lot smaller. Everyone lived on campus, so that was a little more fun. Everyone was just right there. As opposed to here where it's a commuter school, not as much campus involvement, I guess.
So what would you like to see different in campus involvement on Missouri Southern's campus?
People aren't really involved here, don't really know what's going on. I feel like at the junior college you know exactly what's going on, you know who's going, things like that makes it a little more fun.
Yeah. So you mentioned Neosho County was a little bit of a smaller school. Do you feel like the size affects the culture?
Definitely. It was about like 500 kids that lived on campus, and it was mostly athletes. So that definitely affects the culture feeling that it gives. It was a lot smaller, but it did feel bigger in a way because you knew everyone. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you've lived in the dorms and you've also lived off campus. What would you say is different between the two?
Living in the dorms, you definitely don't like as much. You don't have your own kitchen. You don't get to really pick your roommates, at least your first year, because you don't really know anyone. You have to share a bathroom. The only perk is you can like walk to all your classes, don't have to drive everywhere. And now that I live off campus, I like it a lot more. You have your own personal space. You can kind of have free reign of what you do. You're not really tied to the school by living there. And you do have to drive to class every day. It's not in walking distance. It's just more grown up, I guess.
So do you feel like living off campus affects your attendance as far as the events that are held on campus?
Definitely. I think you're not as aware of what's going on and you don't really care as much because you have your own personal life going on.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Peyton.
Yep, you're welcome.
I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture. Hi, I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture. I'm here with Victoria, who is a designer and photographer for The Chart. How are you doing today, Victoria?
I'm fine, thank you, Kailey. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So you were homeschooled pretty much throughout your school career until you got to college, is that correct?
For the most part, I was homeschooled up until my sophomore year of high school, or actually my junior year, sorry about that. When I was 16, I started dual enrollment at Crowder in Webb City, so I took college courses for the rest of those 2 years, and when I graduated high school, I graduated Crowder with my associate's degree.
Wow, that's extremely impressive.
Thank you.
What would you say is the biggest shock coming from, primarily being homeschooled, taking dual credit classes, and then being here on campus, taking classes, being a part of The Chart? What would you say is the biggest difference?
I would say it's just a lot of social interaction. And social interaction, that sounds like, one of those basic things. You're like, okay, yeah, whatever. But having that on like a pretty small scale from being homeschooled and not knowing, not having, not hanging out with like too many people, to being in this university and at Crowder, there's a lot more. And now that I'm on The Chart, I have to go out and talk to people for articles and for photos, so.
So you'd say it's kind of made you step out of your box a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome though. It's always kind of nice to get a different perspective on things. So how would you describe the culture on campus?
I would say it's good. Oh, we have pretty good diversity here, and
Yeah.
people are kind as well. So.
Yeah. And you said that, a lot of times you have to go out and talk to people for The Chart.
Yes.
And you attend a lot of the events, is that correct?
Yes.
What would you say your favorite event on campus has been?
This semester, I might have to say the Korean art exhibit that we had at the very beginning of the semester. The artists involved were people that I knew and have had classes with, and it was very interesting to learn about, the Korean culture and the art style was simplistic looking, but I mean those kind of things are very hard to create.
Yeah.
Coming from an artist perspective, so.
Yeah. And my last question for you, is there anything that you'd like to see different as far as the culture goes on campus?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I feel like we could have more cultural involvement. We do have clubs and all that, but I feel like we could still do more. So,
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much, Victoria.
absolutely my pleasure.
This is Campus Culture. Hi, I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture. Today I'm here with Keisa Clark, lecturer in the Communication Department. How are you doing today, Keisa?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So you went to school here at Missouri Southern.
I did.
What was that like transitioning from being a student and then becoming an instructor?
Yeah, it was really great. So I graduated in 2011 and did my master's after that and taught English in Spain, and then this job opened up, and so it was really nice because I've been teaching, but to be like my first lecturer university position, it was really nice to come back home per se and be with my old instructors, and so it's been, a great experience.
And Missouri Southern has a massive international mission. What was it like teaching English in Spain?
Yeah, well, actually, that was like the international mission was part of the reason I wanted to come to Missouri Southern as a student, and it's really exciting to be back. And having taught in Spain, it's really great that I can use that experience and to kind of further the international mission. I actually gave a talk about Spain during the Spain semester, because every fall semester we have a theme country, and so it's really great that we bring a culture to campus for students that don't get to go out to that culture. And then we have lots of international trips for students as well. And I'm actually leading a group of students to Paris this coming spring to the International Media Seminar, which I did as a student years ago as well. So just so many great opportunities with the international mission at Missouri Southern.
And it's so cool that you were able to do that as a student, and now you're kind of returning and you're taking that trip again as the instructor.
Yes.
So what is that class that's doing that?
Yeah, it's the class that goes with it. It's global journalism, and so it's tying into the seminar itself in Paris, which is the International Media Seminar. So it's a week-long seminar in which we'll have speakers from all over the world and different, whether it's newspaper or television, professionals in media and all aspects. And so the global journalism, kind of learning about the differences between media and other countries, and then it's great that we get to actually go experience that in Paris for that seminar.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah.
How would you say that, the international mission is really affecting like the campus culture?
Oh, I think it impacts it completely. I mean, if just walking around campus, like in our building, we have all the flags and so many events on campus, like with the fall semester event, and just to the fact that not only do our students get to go off and go on these trips, they come back and share their experiences. We also have students, a lot of international students from other countries that come to Missouri Southern because we have those connections with universities around the world. So we have so much diversity and cool international culture here on campus all the time, and it's really one of the things that makes Missouri Southern unique and a really great school.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And being well-traveled, I feel like yourself, and
Try.
getting to take, so cool. Getting to take these trips. Is there anything else you'd like to add for students?
I would just say take advantage of this culture and all these opportunities. I mean, we have grants that the International Institute gives to students. They can get $1,000 for short-term trips and I think $1,200 for a full semester abroad. And we have those connections with universities across the world, and with that connection, you can go, like, say, study in Peru for a semester and pay the same as if you were here at Copland and get $1,200 to help go with that. So I mean, it's just amazing. And having been, being someone who has traveled abroad and studied abroad as a student, I went on 2 different trips here at Missouri Southern, and then went on to teach English in Spain, and I did in Costa Rica as well. I mean, those experiences here really opened the door to me, to want to go on and do those other experiences. And it's just, you cannot really even compare going to those cultures and doing those things. So I would just say, take advantage of it. And the events here on campus too. But yes,
that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Keisa.
you.
I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture.
And the final interview that took place was with an international student named Kai.
Hi, I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture. I'm here with Kai today, an international student. Kai, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from the Sunshine Coast, which is on the east coast of Australia.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, pretty much right on the beach, so it's nice.
Oh, wow. So did you start school in Australia?
Yeah, I started university in Australia and then I transferred over here to play American football.
Okay. So what would you say is the difference between Australian university and an American university?
I think the biggest difference is ours is 4 years specific to a degree, whereas over here you have 2 years of general education before you get into your major classes.
So generally in Australia, once you decide your major, you start taking classes for that major. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So like I was doing sport and exercise science over there, and my first semester was physiology and anatomy and sports medicine.
So you came here for American football. What would you say, do they have American football in Australia?
Yeah, we do. We also have a lot of other sports that kind of are the same, just without pads, a bit more contact.
Oh. Okay. What would you say is one thing you miss about Australian university?
I think especially now when it's cold over here, I miss the weather and being able to go to the beach all year round. But I know the university was probably like 10 minutes from the beach as well, so it's really easy just to go between classes.
How would you compare the culture between the two universities?
I think they're pretty much the same. It was the smallest school I went to. I would say it's probably a bit more relaxed in Australia. It's more based on exams, and exams are kind of like, they require a hurdle task, which means if you don't pass them, you fail the course. So often you have a hurdle task for a midterm and then also a hurdle task for the final. Not so many assignments during it.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kai. I'm Kailey Schellack, and this is Campus Culture.
I'm Inge Lotenberg.
I'm Glen White.
Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something about the culture here at Missouri Southern.